Okay, good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here to see Tsama Nafshi and Finish. I'm temporarily substituting for Rabbi Reuven Levitt, who may be coming in shortly in the morning here. We're just learning a bit of preparation for Purim in terms of drinking and davening. Do they go together or they don't go together? So let's just review the Machaber, which we did yesterday. Go ahead, Liz. That's in Tzadi Tet. Din Shasui V'Shikur V'Tfila. The din of a person who has been drinking and a person who's drunk in terms of his ability and permissibility of praying to a Kadosh Baruch
Hu. Uvo Gimel Seifim.
Three subcategories.
Shasa Yayin, drank wine, Kedei, in order, in the amount of Revis. Revis is half a cup. Al Yispalel, he should not pray. Ad Shiasir Yeno, until it is metabolized his wine.
Right, but the wine's left in it. He's been metabolized. He's absorbed the wine.
He's absorbed the wine. Okay. The im shasa yoter, and if he drinks more
than the Revis,
right? Im hu yachol ledaber lifnei hamelech, if he is still capable of speaking before the king,
right?
Im yispalel tefilaso tefila, if he prays, his prayer is a prayer.
Right. So if
and
he had
if I think implies that b'di'evet.
Yeah.
It's still not the chachila, he should not pray.
He should not pray, right, because, again, if he had a revis, he's not to pray until the wine leaves him. But let's say, even if he had more, right, so he's not to pray, because if he even had a revis, he's not to pray. But if he had more, and he went and prayed anyway, as you said, b'di'evet, if he could speak in front of the king, so his tefillah, we'll let it go by, b'di'evet, okay? If he can't speak in front of the king,
im yispalel tefilaso toeva, if he prays, his prayer is disgusting.
Right.
The tarich, and it's necessary lechazor, to review, ulehitpalel, and to pray, kishiyasir, when that it is absorbed, yeno, his wine may alav from him. So he has to, even if he prays, he has to pray again.
Right, because his original prayer shouldn't have been done, right? And it's not only that, it's toeva, and therefore it's like he didn't daven at all, and therefore he's going to have to go back and daven again when he sobers up. Okay, let's leave that for now. Let's take a look at the Sif Cotton. Right, Sif Cotton Gimel, Al Yispalim. And if he had more than a revis, he shouldn't pray, right?
Va'afilu, and even im al yidei zeh, even in this case, ya'avor zaman, when it passes the time to fila, even if he's gonna not be able to pray at all.
Right. So he might decide he wants to be a tzaddik, like he's had 3-4 shlogs, right? And he's feeling a bit tipsy. He can't speak. Whether he can speak in front of the king is questionable. But he says, well, look, if I don't daven now, I lose the davening. I'm going to miss Ma'ariv. I'm going to miss Mincha. What am I going to do? He's a big tzaddik. He doesn't want to lose out on his davening, right? So no, Mishmur says he's not supposed to mispalel. Even if he could speak in front of the king, right? He's not to daven, even if he's going to miss his man mincha or miss his man ma'ariv. It's like a guy. Let's say he's been drinking, right? He's been drinking. He's a little bit over the limit, right? And there's a woman, or maybe his own wife, and she's about to give birth. She says, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll drive you to the hospital." Right? So you got this drunk driving this pregnant woman to the hospital. Right? He thinks he's a big tzaddik. Right?
That's a good example.
Right? So he's trying to be a big tzaddik, to not to miss Zman, Minka, or Meyer. Let's say he's going to lose out on davening. Oh, you can't do that. It's such a big mitzvah to daven with a tzibur, daven, Meyer and Minka in its proper time. So, okay, he's had a little drink, just like this woman's got to get to the hospital, so I'll drive her. Right? No, don't get into the car, don't get into the situation of davening Shmona Esrei. You're not supposed to do it. Okay.
V'ayin b'sof hasiman b'shem hayam.
Shel Shlomo. That's the name of his seisha.
Shlomo.
Yam Shel Shlomo.
What's ayef?
And
The ayef.
I lost you.
The first word of the sentence.
Ayin b'sof.
Ayin b'sof.
Take a look. Ayin means take a look. B'sof hasin. Take a look at the end of the sin.
The end of this
chapter, this section in the Mishnah, in the Mechaber, right? That he says b'shem the Yam Shel Shlomo. Okay, now the Akshav.
The Akshav, that now Shibelav, that it is not Hechi there, Ein Michav Nin. He does not have the ability to concentrate.
Meaning he's talking about in our time. In our time, our concentration on prayer is very weak in our time, right? So it could be different. Even a person's had a little bit to drink now, in halacha could be somewhat a bit different because our concentration is very weak to begin with. So it says, Ein lachosh.
Kol kach b'tefillah, so much in prayer. We're not able to concentrate so much in prayer. Ein lachosh kol kach lahachmir. What is lachosh?
Not to be concerned. A chashash. A chashash is a concern.
A chashash is like a worry or a fear.
A chashash is a fear, and lachosh is a verb. To be fearful, not or to be concerned.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So we should not be concerned about being so strict. Im al yedei hamitana concerning the gift, his gift.
No, this is the waiting, delay. The hamtana is a delay. Hamtin, hamtin alai, wait for me. I say wait for me in Hebrew. Hamtin, wait for me. Hamtin alai, wait for me. Right, so this is hamtana, so is a delay. There's a delay. His delay, meaning because he's supposed to delay and not daven because he's been drinking. So he's saying here in our time when our concentration in prayer is not so great, you don't have to be so concerned to be strict not to daven if through the waiting, Yavar Zman Tefillah is going to pass the Zman of Tefillah. So Mishpur is saying, he's giving you an opinion that you could possibly go ahead and daven, right?
Oh, since you don't have kavanah anyway,
yeah.
So go ahead and daven without kavanah.
Right. At least if he's able to speak in front of a king, he's going to have to be respectful in front of the policeman, right, Roy? We don't have kings these days anymore, but we have policemen, right? So if you be able to speak properly into a policeman, right? So you could.
So im al yedei means because of.
If because of, right? Al yedei means because of. Im if. Al yedei because of. Yeah.
Okay. Continue in the Mishabur or back to the
No. Dalad ad shia. We have to really wait ad shiyasir, until the wine passes through his system, until he absorbs the wine. It leaves him, the effects of it at least.
Va'af, and even im if ragil, it's regular. Lish tot, to drink. Harbe, not a lot. Ve'eno, and he does not he does not become shikor, drunk.
Right.
Klal at all. V'is, with a revis.
Right. So
Even if he doesn't okay, that's good. That's answering my question because I was saying yesterday that a revius is not going to do anything to me.
Oh, but nevertheless, but we're only in the middle here. It says, even though he has to wait until the wine passes from it, even if he's rugil lishtos harb, even if he drinks a lot, he's a heavy drinker, and he's not shikar with a revius. A revius doesn't get him drunk, doesn't feel any effects. One glass of wine doesn't do anything to him, right? Afilu hachi, nevertheless,
lo yispalel, he should not pray. Lechatchila, he should not pray in the best circumstances, or
ideally.
Im shasa, if he drank revi'is yayin, if he drank a revi'is of wine.
Right. So even then, if he drank a revi'is of wine, he's not supposed to daven. Right.
Very interesting. Toeva.
Right. And if he went ahead and davened in a situation where he could not speak to the king, right?
Then it's a
toeva.
Right. Disgusting. V'harei, and we see ki'ilu, as if oved achum.
Yeah, avodas kochavim. It's as if he's worshipping idols.
As if he's worshipping idols. If he davens when he can't speak for the king.
Right.
Le'im eino mit palel, and if he does not pray, bishas, in the time shichrus, that he is drunk, nitzal mikol tzara, he's something from all of his troubles.
Right, he's saved, nitzal.
Nitzal is saved.
Right. So if a person holds himself back, he wants to daven so much, he loves Hashem so much, he wants to daven, he never misses a minyan, and here now it's Moshe Purim, and he's not just had one revius, he had one bottle, he didn't have one bottle, he had
Look on your face.
It's on film, I have to take a look.
Let's see if it came out.
So this person, he loves Hashem so much, he never misses a davening. Well, he's really a big tzaddik. He's an honest, really big tzaddik. He loves Hashem. He wants to daven. He wants to do things, and he's had a lot to drink, and now it's Moitzi Purim, and he's still way up there in the clouds. Baruch Hashem, he's not down on the ground, but he's up there in the clouds.
Right.
And
but this
holds
is
himself
very
back.
troubling.
He doesn't daven. He's not supposed to daven. He's going to be nitzel from cold sorrow. He's going to have. He doesn't have to worry about praying. By not praying, he's going to have the answer to all his prayers. He's going to be saved from all his distresses.
This is very troubling to me.
Okay, why?
Because he put himself into this situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say, knowing that you can't daven when you're drunk,
Right.
and knowing that it's, let's say it's 4 p.m, and you're in your Suda and you're chugging away,
Right.
knowing that you're not going to be able to daven Mariv,
Right.
you should not get so drunk. It should be a disincentive to drinking.
Right.
But this says it's a reward.
Right. Well,
I'll get really drunk, and then when I don't pray, I'll be saved from my trouble.
Right.
I don't like that.
Okay. So anyway, we're going to have to eventually compare this what the Mishnah Berurah and the Halacha brings down about drinking on Purim and all these things, because in fact what he's saying is true. First of all, there's such a criteria as that he began in a zone of permissibility, meaning let's say the Sefer here, this is sunset.
Mm-hmm.
This is sunset. Okay? This is Purim and this is Motzi Purim.
Right.
Okay, now so you have sunset. That's the
Divider.
That's the divider, exactly. So on Purim, right, before you have any obligations for Motzei Purim like davening, saying Kriya Shema, right? This is a zone of permissibility. In theory, everything is permitted. You can eat, you can drink, right? You can, if you want to start a job that's going to take you 6 hours, you can start a job that takes you 6 hours, right? Right? Once you've reached the demarcation point of sunset, and specifically more like 20 minutes after sunset, right? You can't even drink and eat anything in theory before you say Kriya Shema, except a small amount. We call it the Ima Ba'alma. Right? You can't start a job that's going to take you past and get you involved before your obligation. Your first obligation after sunset is to get yourself ready for Myrick, right? So, but that's because you're now in the zone of prohibition, right? Because now it's Motzi Purim. Well, that's even tonight you want to daven Myrick, right? If a person who doesn't daven in a regular minyan, let's say I was daven at 7:30, 10 o'clock, so that's my regular minyan, so I really can eat and drink. But even sitting down to have a full-fledged meal, and certainly to drink wine, intoxicating beverages, that's clearly not only not advisable, but it could be prohibited as well. Because you have an obligation to, as you said, to make sure you fulfill your obligations, which are incumbent upon you at this point. But on Purim itself, there's nothing incumbent upon you, right, at this point. Right, so really it's a zone of permissibility. Right? But nevertheless, if a person knows that by drinking he's going to have so much to drink that, like, at this rate he won't sober up until 12 midnight, right? So like he's pushing it.
6 a.m.
Yeah, I mean 6 a.m. So he's pushing it. He's pushing it. You're not really supposed to do that.
But how does that fit in with this? It says you're saved from all your troubles if you don't daven Myrick that night.
No, because he's not supposed to daven. He's not supposed to daven. He's as he is now. Forget about how he got that way, right? He had an engagement party. He's very happy. He met his beloved, and he's so happy. And his friends came over, and they were so happy, and they got the scotch and the gin, and they got all the things, and they really had a very wonderful, joyous time. They were got to celebrate. And some people celebrate with liquor. You don't have liquor, you don't have a celebration.
Right.
It's not just enough to have some pizza and some French fries. Not the same. Right? So he's up in the clouds. Right? So in that case, if he holds himself back, he doesn't pray. Right? So yeah, it's a reward for not praying, because you're holding yourself back and not doing what you should not do. Right? Now, should you have tapped them on the shoulder and said, you shouldn't have so much to drink?
It's late in the afternoon, you're not going to be able to daven Myrick.
Yeah, right. So if he says to himself, he'll be a bigger tzaddik if he says to himself, you're right, maybe you should clear off the bottles, put them away, and just eat the pizza and French fries. Sing a song. That's being a tzaddik on a higher level.
But it doesn't say that.
No, because the Mishnah is not going into all the different scenarios where you might have situations in these cases. He's telling you that you've reached the point where you can't talk in front of the Melech. If a person's praise in that situation, his tefillah is abhorrent, unacceptable. It's like he's worshipping idols, right? And he's going to have to go back and daven again. On the other hand, if a person holds himself back and does not daven when he's not supposed to, he's going to have freedom from all his sorrows.
Okay.
So here we are concerned with what the person is capable of doing rather than the quantity that he drinks. So I might be able to drink half a bottle of liquor and still walk a tightrope across the Grand Canyon, but the next half bottle might see me toppling.
Right, but nevertheless, the Mishnah did say if you've had a revis for everybody, even a person who holds his liquor, he drinks a lot, he holds his liquor, a revis, a cup half the size does nothing to him. He's not affected in the least. He can have 3 or 4 or 5 of these. Nevertheless, he drinks a revis. L'tchatchila, he is not supposed to daven. So he has to wait. And again, remember we learned if a person's been drinking in a suda, drinking a meal that doesn't affect the fact that he's had a full stomach of food, was eating with food, that's not what we're talking about. It's straight revis without eating with a suda. It's also, but again, that's why you have one criteria is how much you drink. a revis, 3.3 ounces more or less, right? You drank that amount you're not supposed to drink. Now, but let's say you drank that within a suda, right? So then that revis is no longer the criteria. The criteria is now, can you talk in front of a king or not? If you can talk in front of a king, right? So then you can go ahead and do it. Right? If you can't, even if he had less than a revis, he can't talk. That affected him for some reason. That affected him so much, right?
Right.
Allegedly, he simply can't talk in front of the king. So he's not supposed to daven either. Even have less than a revis. Apparently. Let's see for it.
Kedin Shogeg. I don't think we've ever gotten to this yet.
Right, yes, we did have a shogeg. Let's see, that's in the, that's the very end, right, the very end of the Macabre. So he has to, if you leave him over his Montfila, even if the time of prayer has passed and he's lost out his prayer, let's say Mincha, he's lost out Mincha. Day is gone. Day is done. Right. Now it's time for Myra. Mashlim oiso betfila shachrecha kedin shogeg. He now makes up the prayer which he missed, that was in this particular case Mincha, so he davens 2 Myras. They're like a din of a shogeg. Let's see what the Mishnah says, din of a shogeg.
Kedin Shogeg.
Now this is going to refer to the question you were asking. Well, you were asking, why should it be a shogeg? This guy shouldn't have got himself into a situation. That's like what we call posher. He's negligent.
Right.
He's not posher.
Right.
You know.
This is according to the law of somebody who does something accidentally.
Yeah, there's nothing. You'll say to me, nothing accidental about here. No one was forcing him to drink.
Right.
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 That was your question. Let's see what the Mishnah says.
Vafilu hitchil, and even ideally, lishtot, to drink achar shehigia zamana, after that it came the time.
Right, meaning I was telling you that the demarcation is sunset, and Purim, let's say, or even today, this afternoon, I want to start drinking. The shkia is now approximately 5:20, 5:25, something like that, perhaps. I want to start drinking now. 5 o'clock. It's still before sunset. I want to drink. I want to have 2 or 3 good drinks of wine, right? So
And
not
you
only
see the time is passing.
right, time's passing. It's going to be time in about 45 minutes. It's time to daven Myra, possibly, or Lucy Priest.
And I haven't done Mincha yet.
Yeah, I haven't done it. So I'm going to have no. So if you haven't daven Mincha, that's something, because now your Mincha is relevant to the day you're in. Meaning, but we're talking about, let's say, Myra, which is in the next day, right?
Right.
You have to because you're not supposed to start eating, drinking, doing all kinds of things, taking a haircut, going to the bathhouse, involving yourself with complex types of work before you daven mincha. That's something separate and a separate prohibition in and of itself.
Unless you go to a minyan.
Even if you go to a minyan, a regular minyan, if you're afraid you're going to get tied up with doing his work, if you're going to start doing, you're going to start you're in the middle of a painting, right? In the middle of a painting. So, from what I see, it's something which you have to prepare to do. You have to get yourself into the mood of doing it. You have to be fully involved in it. And so it's not easy to get yourself into that situation. It's not easy to get yourself out of that situation. So if a person wants to sit down and start doing some artistic endeavor before he's daven mincha, right? And that endeavor could take him a good 3-4 hours of activity, right? Concentrated activity. He's not supposed to really do that before he's daven mincha. Daven mincha for.
So you've got a regular meeting that you go to every day, mincha market.
Right.
Right at before sunset.
Right.
So let's say at 5 o'clock.
Right.
And it's now 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You can't begin an activity that's going to take you 3 hours.
No. So if a person davens regularly, there are permissibilities to allow that.
Okay.
It may not be completely advisable, right? Because you're still risky, but since you do go regularly, then you can be relying on it.
Okay, so it's Purim, and it's the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you're starting your Suda,
Right.
and you have your regular minyan. It's going to be at 5.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm understanding from this is you're not allowed to get drunk, so drunk that you won't be able to daven in
Right.
five.
First law in Purim, there probably won't be a regular minyan of five. Don't count on it. Make sure you dive in. You look wherever you dive, wherever you're going to be.
Don't daven early, even if it's your regular.
Forget, because
What about davening
B'Yechidus?
b'yechidus?
It's not advisable. Usually, I like to daven with the minyan in general. You should really be davening.
You should
with
work
the
hard to find a minyan.
You'll
that's
find
davens
everyone's going to want to daven early. I mean, anyone who wants to take Purim seriously in all aspects, you know,
Right.
they're going to want to daven Mikra. There'll be plenty of, if you're in your neighborhood, if you're in some other neighborhood, right, you're going to be by yourself, so you find out, you'll discuss it with where, that Purim happens to be, Yom Nafshi, Chutz Yerushalayim. So at the beginning of the week, they'll be posting schedules from the beginning of the week on. You take a look for where they post the schedule. If not, you speak to the people who run the shul where you usually daven. Says when there'll be a series of them at the earliest time, and then 2, 3, 4 afterwards maybe, and then they'll have a sign maybe mincha, a half an hour before shkia, but do not count on it because rove of the people that you're going to be davening with probably are not supposed to be davening. If anyone's going to show up for a mincha at that time, he's probably not being conditioned where he's supposed to be davening. So don't count on it. On a regular day, you want to daven close to sunset. That's another story. There's a regular minyan half an hour before sunset. Fine, no problem.
But this is not talking about that. This is
No.
talking about the coming Mari.
Yes,
correct?
it's going to be about the Ma'ariv to come.
All
Right?
right.
But in saying, even if you started to drink Akar Giyazmana, right?
So now it's
still she's a din of a shagi, a very big chiddush. You're still considered like a involuntary, accidental, non-compulsory situation, which would allow him to daven 2 Ma'arivs in the case where he, or 2 chakras if he was his Ma'ariv.
so this situation is that it's now after dark.
Yep.
And your Suda is still going on.
Yep.
And you're continuing to drink.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So even in that case, Shehaya Savur, and it is that he thinks Shehiyeh, that he will be lo to him Shehus. What's Shehus?
Time.
Time that he's palel to pray. La'achar Sheyifu min ha-yayin. After he absorbs the wine.
Right. So again, it's after, like, let's a classic example, Purim. No one stops at sunset. If it's rolling, it's going to roll and roll and roll until why stop the fun? Right? Why stop the fun? There's no answer. We're supposed to be happy.
Our Purim usually goes after sunset.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to stop, right? And you don't have to necessarily stop drinking either. So he's been drinking, and he's even drinking afterwards. And why is it considered a shoygeg? Because he thinks he's under the whether it's a correct assumption or not. But there'll be time for him to pray still after he sobers up from the wine.
Now in America, when we used to have our Purim parties, we would actually have a minyan right there.
Yeah, they could do
We
that.
had 10 men.
Yeah, right. If you're all in the condition, if you had 10 that are in condition to daven.
Folks, see, our custom is not to drink excessively.
Oh, so you're
So
okay,
we
you're fine.
would be
Yeah.
drinking,
Yeah.
but we'd be drinking with the meal.
Fine.
So my understanding from this is that would not be a problem.
Right, so as we learned before, if you're drinking within a meal, right? So if you're able to speak before a melech, I mean, if a cop would show up, knock on your door, and say, "Please, I have to inspect the house. If you have do you have a search warrant, right, dear officer?" If you could say that clearly to him, and produce the paper. And if not, just say, "Please, go to the court and get a search warrant that will allow me in my house. If not, you over the Constitution of America, and the United States of America." You can say all that.
Then you're fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But if you say, you
Well,
want to come and join us? Put your gun down in the bathroom and sit down and have a drink. So.
Okay. Hamuat to reduce?
Yeah, Shiaf hu min hayayin hamuat shehitgila shtos b'dei shiyu shevis. Now, what does that mean? Hold on, let's look at that. That's
a tough
that's a complicated sentence. Right? Why is Mr. Rose explained why is he considered to be a shoygid? Shaya saber shayu shoys l'sfalo. He thinks he has time to pray. Acher shiaf hu min hayayin hamuat shehitgila shtos b'dei shiyu. He thinks he has time yet to daven. After he'll sober up a little bit, that he began to drink when he had his wits about him. Dea miyusheves. Dea means his intelligence, his comprehension. Miyusheves. He was miyushev. He was still settled. He had a settled mind at the time, right? Now, what happened?
He thinks he can sober up in time to be able to pray.
Yeah, like let's say sunset is 6 o'clock. Let's say you can't say Kriya Shema until maybe 6:25, maybe something like that. So he's going to continue drinking. He says, well, by the time I'm going to daven, I'll figure I'll get myself at 8 o'clock. Minyan, I'll have time to sober up before I go to daven. I have time for that, so that's okay.
What's the end of the sentence? Because he was okay when he started.
He began to drink. That drinking that he began to drink was when he had a day of Yushavas. He had he made this estimation. Yeah, but he made this estimation. The estimation was made when he was sober. He said, look, we got to drink.
I can have 5 drinks and I'll be okay.
I'll drink a bunch of water after. I'll walk around. I'll have a cup of coffee, and I'll get the minyan.
Okay.
Right.
So if he does all that,
right.
V'achar kach, and afterwards, nimshach. It's found.
No, nimshach it's a phrase. Yeah, nimshach leiv lahamishtet. Nimshach literally means to draw, to be moshech. To be moshech is to draw, to pull, right?
Oh, his heart draws him to drink more.
Yeah, it was nimshach lemishtet.
So he drinks more than he calculated.
This wine is great. I haven't had such great wine in 6 years. Yeah, right.
Okay. V'shachach al hatefillah. And he shachas his tefillah. What's shachas?
I forgot about davening. He says, who's davening? But this wine, this is such great wine. I haven't had such great wine in 6 years. He's not thinking about davening anymore. He's thinking about this is Olam Hazeh. It's the tachlis of Olam Hazeh to get drunk here.
His friend arrives and brings him a really vintage bottle.
Right.
And he hadn't planned on that.
Right. He hasn't seen his friend either for 6 years. Him and the wine. It was the same guy that showed up 6 years ago to this pouring party. He's been waiting for every year since for this guy to show up again. The only problem is, the last 5 years, he's been so drunk he never made it over his house. This year, he's not so drunk, he made it to his house.
V'nishtaker al kach.
Kol kach.
Kol kach. What's nishtaker?
He became drunk.
And he became drunk.
Kol kach, so much.
Ad shalo, that he could not nishar, drink low to him, shehus lahafig. I don't know what that is.
Okay, so it's like this. B'shachach al he forgot about davening. V'nishtaker kol kach ad shelo nishtar lo shos lahafig es yano terem avur zman hatfilah. And he became so drunk that there was not enough time remaining that he should sober up. Lahafig es yano, to sober up from the wine, Terem before Avur's Mantfil, before the end of the time of Tefillah.
So he kept drinking after sunset, so much that even by 6 a.m. he couldn't daven Mark.
The guy came in, he was going to, at 6:30 he said, there's no problem, I'm going to catch that 8:30, 9 o'clock meeting, whatever it's going to be, I'll drink some now. Then his friend came in with this bottle, and he had another bottle and another bottle, so he didn't stop drinking until 11:30 at night. And of course, then he passed out, right? And
wakes up, it's 8 a.m.
That's right.
You missed it.
He was smart. So
Okay.
he's considered like a shogeg, right? Right? We have nothing, we don't hold anything against him.
Gam King, also therefore, Shogeg Mikre. We
This is
call
called-
him Shogeg.
This is called a shogeg.
That's hard to understand. Umihu.
Again, because he didn't set out to do anything wrong. I mean, we're being realistic. The way it works with wine is that a person drinks, he wants to drink more. Esther knew this secret.
Right.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew the secret, so he got Achashverosh drunk. Killed
Right.
off his wife, Dashki. Esther move in, right? And we can try and save the Jews now.
Right. Umihu Vadai. And from this it is certain, Im Hu Samuch, the Mincha, if he is close to Mincha,
Well, I mean, it's the situation, if it is, mihu, however, definitely, if it is close to mincha,
close to Mincha, V'ya'avor Asman, and is passing the time, Vadai, certainly, Im Yishtacher, if he is drunk.
right?
So,
I mean, if he'll get drink, so if it's close to mincha, and the time is passing, definitely if he's going to get drunk, right?
Shelo Yuchal, so that he will not be able lahafig et yeno bizman katzar kazeh. He will not be able to process the wine before the required time.
In a short zman like this,
In a short
zman
time like
katzar,
this.
in a short zman kazeh like this,
Mazid, now it's considered to be that he is doing it on purpose. Have lechule, it is for
that's a phrase.
Amul.
L'chuli am is
for
a phrase.
everybody.
According to all opinions.
All opinions,
All
okay.
opinions.
The ain lo tashlumi, and it is not for him to pay.
Yeah, to make up, to tashlum, to have a makeup prayer.
To
have a
make
makeup
oh,
prayer.
he's not allowed to do a makeup.
Right. By Mazid you can't have a makeup prayer. Shogeg you may have a makeup prayer, but Mazid if you're wantonly, intentionally going to do something which is going to make you lose out your prayer, in this case mincha, then you're not considered a shogeg and you have no makeup prayer. You can only ask forgiveness for Hashem for doing such a dastardly thing as getting yourself drunk without having davened mincha first.
So in other words, everything before Sif Dalid
Yeah.
was saying, even if it's really extreme, but he really did, it really was not intentional, then he's under the law of shogeg.
Correct. Right.
And then after Dalid, it's saying, but that doesn't mean you can go too far.
Right.
If you go too far, then it's considered to be mazid and you're in your chayiv.
That's right.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. That's a little more helpful.
Very good. Okay.
Vatin, I don't think we got to this, Vatin Kriyas Shema.
Yeah, Zion is referring to the Ramah. Let's take a look at the. What about this? We've been discussing now. Yeah, we're discussing now Shemona Esrei. Shemona Esrei is much more serious than what we'll be discussing soon, because Shemona Esrei you have to stand with Neimel. You have to imagine yourself actually and symbolically as if you're standing in front of Kadosh Baruch Hu and praying directly, asking and speaking directly to Kadosh Baruch Hu. So that you have to have a lot more decorum and etiquette and pose to do that properly, right? But in terms of Kriya Shema, and we'll see about other brachas. Let's see what the Ramah says. What about Kriya Shema?
The din Kriya Shema, the law concerning reciting the Shema, kedin tefillah, is like the law of prayer.
Okay, good. Next.
Aval she'ar berachos, but after the brachas.
No, other brachas.
Other brachas. Yachol levarech, he's able to pray, to bless, af al pi, even though shehu shikur. What? Oh, this is getting to Birkas Hamazon.
Let's take a more common example. You should know that the way alcohol works, alcohol, if I'm not mistaken, is called a what does it do? It dehydrates a person. What's that called? So a person, doesn't add liquids to your body, it takes liquids out of your body.
Right.
It takes liquids out of your body. So people, when they're drinking, have a tendency to use the facilities much more than normally, right? So a person has to use the facilities. He comes out and washes his hands. So what about he's drunk? He's not davening Shmona Esrei. He's not davening Mincha Marv. He's really this is third, fourth bottle of Purim time, and he's a happy-go-lucky, very nice guy, but he's very dehydrated. Right? Yeah. Right, exactly. So he's using the facilities at a rapid pace, and it's good. You don't that whole system is working overtime, with alcohol and all these things going on. So he washes his hands, comes out of bed. He wants to make a bracha, right?
Right.
So you say this guy can't talk in front of a king. If the policeman came in, he danced the policeman right into the toilet with him. So can he make a bracha? Yeah, apparently he can make a bracha. Right? He wants to wash for bread. Wants to make a bracha on the Shidayim. Right? He wants to have another glass of wine. Right? If someone came with a special bottle of wine, he's going to make a tovu meiti. He's going to make a bracha meiti, but he's way gone.
Right? Now I have heard that in some respects, Birkas Hamazon is considered like Shmona Esrei, in terms of the fact that you're not allowed to interrupt.
Yeah, there are many things that Birkas Hamazon are very similar. Even you should know, Birkas Hamazon is the Deraisa. Shmona Esrei is only in the Rabbanan. So some say that they even try to have more kavanah for Birkas Hamazon than they even have for Shmona Esrei. So in certain respects, Birkas Hamazon is more serious, or at least as serious, let's say, as Shmona Esrei. But we'll see. Whether or not Birkas Hamazon is considered in Shar Brachas, we'll see. We have a couple of more minutes. Let's continue. Zion in the Mishnah Berurah.
Derech meal.
No. Back down in below in the Mishnah Berurah.
Back down here. Okay.
Zion.
Vidin shog. No.
Kriya Shema.
Vidin Kriya Shema. Uvirchos Kriyas Shema, turning the blessings of Kriya Shema, Gam Kain, also, Dinam, the laws, Kik Ra'as, Kriyas Shema, are like the laws of reading of the Shema.
Right.
Okay, so the bracha is about the Shema. That's like the paragraph before, after Baruch Hu.
That's right.
Okay. Kedin Tefillah.
So the Kriya Shema has, and the Kriya Shema and the brachas of Kriya Shema has the same halacha relevance as that of Shmona Esrei.
Hainu, it is de'af shasu, that even if he's drunk, asur, that when he's drunk, it's forbidden lechatchila, in an ideal world, the kriyas shema, to say shema.
Right. So it's also ideally it's usher to say Kriya Shema
when you're drunk.
Right. Well, levush kasav, the levush writes about this.
Kasav writes, okay, to yesh, that there is. Now where do I go? To the top.
Top of the column, right?
Mekilin, bikriyas shema. What's mekilin?
They're lenient. There are those who are lenient.
In Kriya Shema, af im hu shikor. When he is drunk. Disha'ane that it's different.
Yeah, tefillah is different.
Tefillah.
Right.
Shehu bakashas terachav.
Tefillah is different because tefillah is requesting our needs. We're requesting when we're praying. We're requesting our needs. So you know the most simple thing. You're not going to go to imagine yourself going to a bank drunk. One, you're going to talk to the bank teller.
Loan me some money.
Here's my driver's license. We need your credit card. Here's my driver's license. It's like go to a pharmacy, start asking for
got any drugs?
Yeah, right. You need something. You have to be coherent to ask for something, right? Right, Lord? You're davening shmor, so you're asking for something. You have to be coherent if you want something to be asked and you want to answer something. That's something that's different. So you have to be coherent. If you're not coherent, it's a waste of time.
V'chein kasav, and so it is written, B'likutei ha-Rambam, in a book of the Rambam, Bisofo, in the end. Okay, so in the end of the Rambam, it's written here that when you're making requests, that makes it a different level of activity. Achein b'vei'ur hagra, and also in a book from the Gonagon, here chiv liva'er divrei hayerushalme. So there's an obligation in the Jerusalem Talmud.
He's explaining that the Gira Gra is expounds to expound the Harchiv to expound the Var to explain the Divrei, the words of the Yerushalmi. That there are on this topic, with a feed devorah, but according to what the Vilna Gaon wrote, the Skanas HaYushalmi Osir Shikar B'Kriyishma. A Shikar, a drunk, is Osir to say Kriyishma. I just want to read this because we start the next year, so we'll just try and finish it up, right? Okay, so Osir the Shikar B'Kriyishma. Al Kain Yesh Lizar L'Kakila. Therefore, a person should be careful not to get himself into a situation of being drunk and to have to say Kriya Shema.
Oh, good. That's what I was saying.
Right. However, after the fact, even the shtaker, now he's drunk. He should have gotten himself drunk, but now he's drunk. And again, you don't have to be so drunk that he can't talk in front of the melech. It's just even in the case of Revis. If it's the same thing by Kriya Shema as by Tefillah. He shouldn't exempt himself from Kriya Shema because of this. Now, the Inyan Birkas HaMazoin, right? By Birkas HaMazoin, Im Yafu Yainu Ad Shelo Rizman Kriya Shema. No, excuse me. Okay, we'll get about that. Now, Im Yafu Yain Ad Shelo Rizman. If he now sobered up from the wine before the end of the Zman of Kriya Shema, Yaksher B'Kara Parshios. Go over and read over the Parshios.
What's the Parshios?
The 3 Parshios, not the brachas, Yes. Shar brachas. Look at this. Shar brachas B'Klal B'Zeh after Kasamazon Shu D'Oraisa. That would even include Birkas HaMazon, which is D'Oraisa as well. And we'll see if there's an opportunity. We'll continue this tomorrow, Mr. Shlomo. Let's stop here.